I still remember the sound before anything else, that sharp burst of laughter cutting through the room like broken glass, the kind of laugh that isn't joy. It's permission. Permission to look down on someone, to turn a human being into entertainment. I was standing there with a paper plate in my hand, thinking about how overdressed I felt, and underprepared I looked, when a voice behind me said, "Wow, they're really letting anyone in these days, huh?" And just like that, the room shifted. You know that feeling when you realize you've already lost control of how people see you? Yeah, that feeling. I hadn't come to that private luncheon to prove anything. Honestly, I came because I was curious. Curious about how people behave when they think the world is divided neatly into people who matter and people who don't. I dressed plainly on purpose, no labels, no flashy watch, no signal that said I belonged anywhere special. I wanted to blend in, sit quietly, observe. Call it an experiment, call it self-sabotage, but I wanted to see the truth without the filter of titles. The place was ridiculous in that expensive, self-important way. Polished floors, soft music servers moving like shadows. Everyone. Speaking just a little too loudly about vacations and schools and connections. I could already feel the stares before anyone said anything, the double takes, the quick glances that lingered a second too long. Then it happened. A young guy, barely a teenager, grabbed something off the table, a bread roll maybe, and before I could even turn it hit me in the side of the head. Not hard enough to knock me down, just hard enough to humiliate me. Sauce splattered into my hair. Laughter exploded behind me. "Oh my God, that was perfect," a woman said, clapping. His mother, I later learned. Her laugh was louder than everyone else's. See, that's what happens when people wander where they don't belong. I froze. That's the part people don't always understand. They imagine bravery as yelling or flipping tables, but sometimes bravery is standing still when everything in you wants to disappear. I could feel my face burning. I could feel eyes on me from every direction. Someone muttered something about security. Another voice joked about charity cases. I heard a man say, "Someone should escort her out before she steals something." And what stunned me wasn't the cruelty I've seen that before, it was how normal it all felt to them. Like this was just another Saturday. I wiped my hair slowly with a napkin. Hands shaking not because I was weak, but because I was angry and trying not to let it show. I could hear my own heartbeat in my ears. The boy who threw the food was grinning, soaking it in. His parents looked proud, like they'd just watched him pass some unspoken test. I wanted to scream. Instead, I breathed. In through the nose, out through the mouth. I'd learned that trick a long time ago. Someone finally stepped in, not to defend me, but to question me. A woman with perfect hair and a smile sharp enough to cut glass stood in front of me, arms crossed. "You need to show your invitation," she said. "This is a private event." I told her quietly that I'd been invited personally. She laughed. "Sure you were. And I'm the Queen of England." A man beside her added, "Let's not make a scene, just leave." I remember looking around the room, really looking. Dozens of people. Educated, wealthy, influential. Not one person spoke up, not one. And in that moment, something clicked inside me. This wasn't about a bread roll. This wasn't about a rude kid. This was about a system that runs on silence. On people convincing themselves that staying quiet is the same as staying clean. I bent down to pick up my bag. Papers had fallen out, important ones stamped and signed, now smeared and bent. The woman noticed the logos and grabbed one, reading out loud in a mocking tone, accusing me of stealing corporate documents. Then she ripped it. Clean in half. The sound echoed. I stood up slowly, my whole body buzzing, and said, "Those are mine." She smirked. "Prove it." That's when I decided I was done playing defense. I didn't shout. I didn't cry. I said very calmly, "I understand exactly what's happening here," and I walked toward the door. I almost made it, almost. Then cold liquid hit my back, a drink this time. Juice, sticky and humiliating. The boy again. His father laughed and patted him on the shoulder. "That's my kid." I stopped, took one breath, reached into my pocket and pulled out my phone. I'd been recording since the first comment. Old habit. Insurance. I turned around and looked at all of them, really looked, and said, "I'm leaving now, but we'll talk again." Someone scoffed. Someone else rolled their eyes. The woman waved me off like I was a fly. "Oh, we're terrified." As I walked out, I felt something unexpected under the humiliation. Clarity. The kind that settles in your bones. I knew exactly what I was going to do next. By the time I got to my car, my phone was buzzing. Someone had posted a photo of me from behind, mocking caption, laughing emojis, hashtags about standards and class. It was already spreading. People were tagging friends, making jokes. A few comments asked questions, but they were drowned out by praise. That's when I realized something else. They didn't just think they were untouchable. They thought they were right. What they didn't know, what not one of them bothered to ask, was who I actually was. They saw jeans and assumed nothing else mattered. They didn't know I'd built a company from nothing. They didn't know I employed thousands of people. They didn't know the contract their family business was desperately chasing was mine to decide. And honestly, none of that should have mattered. Respect shouldn't require credentials. But the irony was almost painful. The fallout came fast. Calls from journalists, messages from partners, panic disguised as apologies. Emails that started with misunderstanding and ended with desperation. I listened to them all and felt nothing. Not revenge, not joy, just resolve. I met with my attorney, played the audio, watched her expression change as she listened. Assault, harassment, defamation, clear as day. When the news broke, people argued. Some said I overreacted. Some said I should have handled it privately. Others said it was about time someone fought back. The family at the center of it all lost deals, lost friends, lost their social standing almost overnight. The club revoked memberships. Sponsors walked away. The same silence that protected them before now abandoned them completely. And still, people asked me if it was worth it, if I regretted it escalating so far. Here's the truth. If I had stayed quiet, if I had walked away and swallowed it like so many are forced to do, nothing would have changed. That boy would have learned that cruelty is funny. Those parents would have learned that money erases consequences. That room full of people would have learned that silence works. I didn't do this because I'm strong. I did it because I was tired. Tired of being measured by appearances. Tired of being told to be the bigger person while others stayed small. And I know I'm lucky. Lucky to have resources. Lucky to have a platform. Most people don't. Most people endure these moments alone and carry them for the rest of their lives. So here's why I'm telling you this. Not for sympathy. Not for applause. But because stories like this aren't rare. They're everywhere. In offices, in schools, in restaurants, in rooms where power feels comfortable. The question isn't whether you've seen something like this happen. The question is what you did when you saw it. Did you laugh? Did you look away? Or did you speak up? I want to know what you think. Was I right to push back, or did I go too far? Have you ever been in a room where someone was humiliated and no one said a word? And if you have power, however small it feels, how are you using it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Argue. Disagree. Share your own story. Because the only thing more dangerous than cruelty is pretending it doesn't exist.